The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? When will people learn that if you make a living as a contract killer, it's always going to catch up with you later? Especially if you killed your stepson's dad. Amber and Scott discuss this classic folly after watching Riff Raff. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
You know what they say?
What?
Guns don't kill people.
Yeah?
I mean, at least not in this movie, apparently.
What do you mean?
How many freaking people got shot, like, point blank? And just, oh, I'm still alive.
Oh, yeah. You know, that actually...
Like, Bill Murray at one point, I mean, he died, but the dude took, like, 8 bullets and,
was still jiggling around.
was kind of moving around. I'm like, damn, what the hell are these bullets made of? Like cotton candy?
Cotton candy. I do love cotton candy. So, folks, this episode we were talking about the film Riff Raff. A retired hitman's life is turned upside down when his ex-wife and son arrive unannounced during the holidays because they are on the run from his former mob associates. This was actually a good movie. It was even though I didn't realize that it had a mob tie-in before we went in and it wasn't immediately obvious, I did think it was interesting, and I definitely enjoyed it. I thought the ending, I didn't like the ending. I think they should have ended it the scene before the ending, but that's another story. So what were your thoughts on Riff Raff, or who do you want to dig into about what would you do?
Oh, yeah, no. I like this movie, actually. I mean, I am generally a sucker for a dark comedy, and that is definitely what we got here. Let me see.
So basically, we have this main character, Vincent. He's the patriarch, and he's living with his wife of 18 years, Sandy, and their 18-year-old son, DJ, who is actually her son. And so they've been married for 18 years, and then you find out that he had a family before that, which comprised of his ex-wife, Ruth, who is a OMG. Anything that you would think of Jennifer Coolidge as her worst possible self, which is really saying something because she plays these kind of characters amazingly.
Imagine Jennifer Coolidge in all the Discover commercials that she's in right now, and then multiply that times like 100.
Yeah. Foul-mouthed, inappropriate, just wow, a handful. And
yeah,
then
she was trying to get a handful.
Yeah, she was. She was a little pervy. And then Vincent's son with Ruth, who was Rocco. So long story short, Rocco is with a woman who is pregnant, and they've been seeing each other for a little while. And she used to date a mob boss's son. And the mob boss's son gave his blessing, and everything was fine, but then until it wasn't fine. And there was some sort of altercation between what was his name? The mob boss's son, Richie, I think it was.
Yeah, I think
That doesn't feel right. Anyway, so there was something between Rocco's girlfriend, Marina, and this guy. And it got out of hand, and he started choking her, and Rocco jumped in and hit him, bludgeoned him, and killed him. So our mob boss in this film is Bill Murray, who you referenced earlier, whose character is named Lefty, and Lefty has to get vengeance for his son being killed, so he goes looking for Rocco, and Rocco and his girlfriend Marina and Rocco's mom all come stumbling into Vincent's life in the middle of the night. And it seems like for the last 18 years, he has been not associated with the mob.
Johnny,
thank you. Not associated with the mob, and just living a normal life with his new wife, Sandy, and her son. And Sandy knows nothing about any previous life with Vincent or any of his associations. So she just thinks that, he's an older guy, which he is definitely older than her, and that he's just a great husband. And yeah, as the movie unfolds, we learn a lot.
Yeah. So I think on what would you do? I'm going to actually go to Lefty.
Okay, so Lefty, our Bill Murray,
our mob boss. If I'm holding a family at gunpoint.
Yeah, so Vincent's old family and new family all at Lefty's whim of whether they live or die.
And I've just revealed this deep, dark secret about someone, which is going to change the family dynamic, make people unhappy who were previously happy.
Well, share what that deep, dark secret is.
Oh, yeah, that Vincent killed DJ's dad.
First husband.
Yeah, and DJ, none too happy about that. When he finds out that the guy he's been calling dad basically most of his whole life killed his actual dad.
Yeah, because up till then they thought it was a car accident.
Yeah, because they made it look like a car accident. But I'm not going to try to maybe get my kicks by handing the gun to DJ.
Oh,
or
yeah.
handing a gun to DJ.
Yeah, Lefty wanted DJ to take out his, dad.
Yeah, so, because here's the thing. If I'm in DJ's position there, I mean, I'm not doing anything different, really.
What do you mean different?
So, Vincent's not holding the family hostage. He's not an imminent threat to me. Now, Lefty is an imminent threat to me.
Yeah. Oh, he wants to kill everyone in the room, or at least most of them.
I'm going to get that gun, and I'm going to shoot Lefty. Just as he did. I mean, I don't know if I'll do it quicker than that or what, but I don't give your victims a gun.
Yeah. Basically, Lefty was thinking, I alienated and upset DJ enough where he will happily take out Vincent, who killed DJ's actual dad. It seems like a somewhat safe bet, but you're also asking an 18-year-old, very happy-go-lucky kid to all of a sudden be a murderer.
To commit murder, yeah. And, that's just flawed logic. I mean, you're the threat. So, I don't know. You've got to have a different way of doing this.
So if you're Lefty, you're not handing off firearms to anybody else.
No.
You're doing the killing on your own, or at least a reliable henchman.
No. Now, Lonnie, if I'm Lonnie.
Yeah, Lonnie was his reliable henchman.
I'm just doing everything Lonnie did. Like, he was an adorable henchman.
Yeah, that was Pete Davidson's character. So obviously, you kind of come in with your own little feelings about Pete Davidson with that character. But he was a likable murderer.
Yeah, he was. I really like that character a lot.
Because
it's I'm a killer, but I'm so much more than that.
Well, when it came to the time to take out Rocco, who had killed Johnny, and Lefty, our mob boss, goes to our adorable henchman, Lonnie, to take him out, and Lonnie says, with due respect, Lord Mob Boss, Rocco disrespected me once, and tells the story and says, I'd like to torture him if that's okay.
He asks permission. May I torture this guy before I kill him? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, and let me make sure I get one thing straight here. So Rocco ended up dating Marina after Johnny had.
And he asked Johnny, "Is it okay?" He took him to dinner, said, I understand, I respect you. I did all the things you do to kiss the ring in the mob world, and respectfully said, I think this could be my wife, and I'd really like to give it a chance.
I mean, there is the whole bros before hoes thing, but no, I mean, I think he did everything correct. He really was I need to know that this is cool by you.
Yeah.
And he said, this is cool. If it's not cool, don't say it's cool.
Well, I think it was cool until
Bill Murray
until
or Lefty.
Just the stop before where Johnny had seen Marina and Rocco, and then the altercation. He had just come from his dad's house, Lefty, who appears to be an old school racist bigot and homophobic and all the bad icks and isses. And it told him that he couldn't have kids, and Lefty made it all about what? So you can't get hard and all this other stuff that was just really demeaning and inappropriate.
Yeah, so let me make sure I get something very clear out there in the world. Speaking as a guy who shoots blanks, mind you, by choice, shooting blanks does not equivocate to can't get hard. Those two things have nothing to do with each other. And yeah, Lefty's like, what, you can't get out of my... I go, what the...
And the other part of it is that he actually went even further and basically started calling him, what are you gay now? Or it was so ridiculous. So that was Johnny's frame of mind before he encountered Rocco and Marina. So I think he was cool with it for the most part.
But I mean, there's also the point that he was trying to impregnate Marina, failed to impregnate Marina, and then he comes and meets up with them with Marina very pregnant.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of things at play there.
Also, I seem to think that he was not sober.
Johnny, I don't think Johnny was ever sober.
Yeah, he was not.
He drank a lot. He had a lot of girls.
Yeah,
and,
I don't know if it was drugs or alcohol, but he was definitely on something. And yeah, I mean, what are you going to do if you come out of the restroom and some dude
Rocco came out of the restroom
is basically choking out your girlfriend?
Yeah.
You're going to do exactly what you did.
Yeah.
Listen, that is...
What would you do? You'd do the same.
That is, for me, justifiable homicide. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to make sure, especially given who he is. You don't let that guy live.
So I want to look at a what would you do from our second wife, Sandy. So she has been married to Vincent for 18 years. He has been a great dad to her son, DJ. And they have a nice house. They have a vacation house. Vincent's a contractor. He seems to be a very attentive, present husband even after 18 years. And they seem to have a good life. And she is subjected to all of a sudden his first family of Riff Raff showing up in the middle of the night and all of that drama and baggage. I mean, Sandy, in her life, in her world, would never be subjected to mob people and guns or anything like that, and has no clue that that's Vincent's background. So when she finds out that Vincent actually took out her husband, and part of it was that Vincent was going to rough up her husband, but then he hit her husband when he was at a motel because he was cheating on her because he was an SOB, and he hit his head on a dresser, and it was that impact that made him die. So he killed him, but that wasn't his initial intent. So back to Sandy.
Yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily apply. Well,
that's more manslaughter opposed to murder.
Ish. I don't know. If you punch someone and...
Well, premeditation makes a difference, and he hadn't intended to...
No, it would be third degree, I think. I'm trying to remember. I believe that would be considered a third degree murder. Manslaughter is generally like when it's like...
Well, you didn't mean to. It's kind of a big oopsie.
It's like you maybe were doing something wrong, but it wasn't something physical and violent. Like, he went in and punched him. As soon as he punched him and he dies, that's going to be probably third degree. I don't think that that's really a big deal, since I have a feeling he had plenty of first and second degrees as well in his past.
So back to Sandy. What would I do if I was in Sandy's shoes, where I was living this life of being married to this man for 18 years and having a good life, and then all of a sudden I learned that, hey, my husband used to be a killer for the mob, and B, she took out my husband even though my husband was a cheating piece of you-know-what.
Yeah, that's a real interesting one there. Like,
I think it's really boils down to the deception. You've been living with a murderer, cuddling with a murderer, embracing a murderer for almost 2 decades and not knowing. And I think that's really where...
well, we don't need to use labels. We don't have to label people.
I think when it comes to murderer, we do.
People can be so much more than a murderer.
Sure, they can like to paint and still be a murderer.
Yeah, or put together boats.
Yeah. So, yeah, what would I do if I was Sandy? Wow, that would be a lot to process. And I guess that's why I didn't like the end, because it had a perfect ending of like everyone had been shot and was half alive or dead. And I thought that should have been the end. But they tacked on an end that was a couple of minutes where a few weeks have passed and everyone's still there. And I'm thinking, why the heck is Sandy there? Why go? You just found out your husband is a murderer and murdered your first husband, who you think was really the one of your life, even though he was cheating. And I think that's another story. But why was she still there? So that's why I wanted the end scene to just end with everybody laying all over the place, either alive or partially dead.
Yeah, I keep trying to rack up that ending to some fantasy or some dream or something not in reality, but I didn't see enough clues in there to lead me that way, and unfortunately I saw enough clues to lead me to believe it actually was like reality. And I agree with you. There was a little, like, you were a little bit too close of a happy family for the crap you'd gone through.
Yeah, I mean, she was sitting at the table and she definitely looked unhappy, but why the heck was she there? So what would you do if I was Sandy? I would freaking leave. I would turn in everybody to the cops, and I get me and my son and travel as far away from there as we possibly could. I certainly wouldn't continue to hang out with the Riff Raff.
So I am going to say this, though. It is different in a way. Like, yes, if you murder people, you need to go to jail. It doesn't matter when it's discovered. That said, she's lived this a very long part of her life with this guy, and she knows that guy for who he is, not necessarily who he was. And obviously he was at the point where he wasn't trying to murder anyone anymore. He was trying to, he was...
Gold star.
I think,
okay, so here's where the difference is, though, is if you were living with someone, they had this life, you didn't know about it, and that's never who they were with you, that's one thing. But when all of that's true, and then, hey, also they killed your husband, your son's dad, that's a whole other level. Because even if, as a woman, even if you weren't as upset because he was a cheater, you care about your kid, and you care about your kid not having a dad, especially if it's a young boy.
But I think there's also the concept that Vincent really did actually care for DJ.
Oh yeah, he was a good dad to DJ, way better than he had been to his first son Rocco, who was the one who took out Johnny.
Isn't that always the case? It seems like the new wife and the new kid always get it better than the old wife and the old kid.
Yeah, well, and some of that might be because we learn. We take our lessons from previous relationships and previous experiences, and hopefully we're learning and doing better as we go. So hopefully that's some of it.
Yeah. But I could actually see scenarios where she stays with him.
So if you were Sandy, you would stay with Vincent?
Yeah, I'd have to ask some more questions. Here's the thing. I mean, again, I don't feel like it fundamentally changes who you are. Like I think to myself, like if I think who I was 18 years ago versus now, that was a different person leading a different life, doing different things. I would not necessarily want to be judged based on that. And I mean, it's not who I am now. And now, mind you, I didn't murder people or anything. I did once get on a table and scream at a store full of employees, but I got on a table and screamed at people. It was not pretty. It was definitely one of the low lights of my life.
So not one of the top next door glass door places to work.
Yeah, no, I needed to calm the fuck down. But Yeah, I mean, people do grow and they do change, and I don't know, sometimes people are a little too hung up on the past, and you just need to look at who truly is this person now. Now, again, murder
aside, if we're taking murder off the table, I agree with you. To spend time with someone who is capable of murder, I think that's not the kind of person I want to spend time with, even if they've been really good and didn't commit a murder while they've been with me.
Well, that's unfortunate for you.
Yeah.
Because I assure you, in the right scenario, I am quite capable of it. If I had to. If I was forced. Like,
I think all of us, many of us are capable given the right circumstances. Like, if anything bad ever happened to me and I had to take someone out to survive, yeah, I could absolutely kill someone. But, I'm not doing it for spending cash.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it because I used my name in front of them or because they were excessively cheery neighbors.
Yeah. Lefty he did have a lust for killing.
Yeah, man, those neighbors were nice. They were so nice, and then he's like, "Go take care of them." Why?
He was annoyed by their cheeriness.
I mean, you're a mob boss. Aren't you basically living on the DL anyway? Like what if two people saw you? Who cares? Like, you're killing...
I don't think he killed them because they saw him. I think he killed them because he found them annoying because they were just so perky.
I mean, they were really annoying. But yeah, no, don't kill people because they're happy.
Okay, those sound like parting words to me.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.